Welcome to HITC Sport. I am the Irish guy. And right, what's this? Premier League Game Week 24? Alright then, let's take a look at my world-class predictions. What? Right, let's go. West Ham versus Watford. I'm sorry, who kicks a cat? No, this isn't an episode of Tom and Jerry. This is real life. I don't understand this. I mean, a few years ago, they did an all-cats remake of Cats. Is this Kurt Zouma trying to do an all-cats remake of Jackass? Again, this isn't itchy and scratchy. Kurt Zouma is a footballer who earns £120,000 a week for being, what, a waddling fridge of a centre half for West Ham. You know, the modern-day Matthew Upson. And clearly he's someone who's got the brain cells of Tinky Winky from the Teletubbies. You know, the one who used to eat tubby toast out of a toilet. I mean, it's a piece of toast that came out of a Hoover. I don't know why, but to me, it's probably even more hygienic to eat sloppy lasagna out of a toilet bowl of Mega Luff. Zouma, I get you're angry that your Chelsea career didn't work out. I mean, after 7 years of loan spells and being promised the world at Stamford Bridge, going to bed every night dreaming of becoming the next John Terry, and now spending your peak years pardoning Craig Dawson in defence. Yeah, I know, that alone might make you feel like brushing your teeth with meth. But apparently, this is a man who's an ambassador for a charity which raises money for sick lions, and so then chooses to volley his cat across the kitchen. I'm sorry, what? This doesn't make any sense. That is like volunteering to help out at a soup kitchen, and 3 days later, you're throwing sandwiches at a homeless man outside Tesco's. Just what? I'm sorry, but if someone kicks a cat, then it's official. You should arguably be dragged by your ears down to the local zoo and chucked inside a lion cage for roughly 20 minutes. Yeah, because anyone who's cruel to an animal, yeah, please plead your case to that hungry lion in the cage. Let him be the jury, right? You'll be lucky to leave both your kidneys still intact. Christ above, you probably wear your bladder as a hat. Kurt, do you hate cats? Did you laugh when Mufasa was thrown off a cliff? You are supposed to be a role model. Many impressionable young children look up to you, and guess what? They could well have cats in their house. Is that the example you want to set? Please, everyone, listen to me. Please don't kick your cat. Honestly, is Zouma just hell-bent on self-destruction? Is this Kurt Zouma or Kurt Cobain? And honestly, this is just days after Egypt reached the African Nations Cup final. You know, the country who treated cats as if they were goddamn gods. I mean, clearly Zouma treats his cat as if it's a hacky sack. Honestly, it's just disgusting. But I'm sorry again, I don't want to keep banging on about this, but I'm sorry. Kicking any animal in any context is of course bad, but when you are a brick lump of a centre half footballer, someone who is trained to volley the football, someone who regularly boots the ball 80 yards up the pitch, then arguably that foot should be seen as a weapon. You know, the same way as if Conor McGregor unleashes a punch at some old lady at a bus stop. I mean, honestly, right now, I feel like shoving a teaspoon up Zouma's nose. It's horrific. But anyway, yeah, he won't be playing tonight. Let's focus on the game, so. West Ham versus Watford. Here we've got David Moyes going head-to-head with Roy Hodgson. Yeah. Sounds very 2008. Easy 2-0 West Ham win. Newcastle versus Everton. This was supposed to be a wonderful Walt Disney-esque occasion. This was going to be Rafa Benitez's glorious return to Tyneside, where, trust me, yes, the away section might have spent an hour screaming that he's just some fat waiter with the tactics of a shoe, but the rest of St James's Park would have been singing his name for a solid hour. Bit of a shame for Rafa that instead he's probably just going to spend tonight watching Home and Away with the wife and slowly dying on the inside. But listen, this game was weird because both clubs I've had a mid-season makeover. Both Newcastle and Everton have made a combined 11 transfers in 1 month. Oh yeah, and one of them has brought in a new manager. Lads, we live in a world where Bruno Guimaraes, a signing for Newcastle United, has targeted winning the Champions League. Winning the Champions League when you're in a team with Paul Dummett. I mean, what sort of Matrix world is this? I know Willian said the same thing when he joined Arsenal, and yeah, that made him sound like he had a custard pie brain, but this, I think Bruno actually believes this. Listen, I think there's going to be an electric atmosphere under the lights. I mean, we've already seen Frank Lampard, as a manager, is not really able to deal with a noisy nighttime atmosphere at St James's Park because he tried it as Chelsea boss 2 years ago and lost to a team with Kieran Clark at the back. I mean, it'll be a similar story here with Jordan Pickford. He'll spend the game chewing his bottom lip and trying to think about when he come back for all the Geordies screaming in his face. Honestly, 2-1 win for Newcastle. Burnley versus Man United. Okay, right now Manchester United are in a crisis, right? So guys, they just got dumped out of the cup by Middlesbrough at home on penalties. Something they were doing in October 2015. Has this club really made zero progress in 7 years? I'm sorry, Ralph, but if you are armed with Cristiano Ronaldo and you are still being dumped out of the cup by a team with Duncan Watmore on the wing, someone this club expelled like a chunk of snot to Altrincham in 2010, it's not really good enough. But listen, yes, a Wednesday night trip to Turf Moor sounds about as much fun as drinking shards of glass out of a cereal box. But is there really an aura about this ground anymore? Because yeah, on the face of it, going to Burnley sounds about as intimidating as a weekend away in Mordor. But only one team has lost at this ground since January 2021, and that was Brentford. I mean, come on. Nobody is scared of Burnley anymore. I mean, visiting Burnley in 2022, it's like watching Scream in 2022. Nobody is scared anymore. Do you really think Manchester United are fearful of Turf Moor? Because they've won their last 5 visits to this place. I mean, yes, to these multi-billionaires. I mean, this is probably seen as some muddy swamp, which constantly smells of stale fish fingers, but that's about it. I mean, apparently the change rooms are so small and cramped, so the idea of a world superstar like Ronaldo being shoved into a moldy corner, trying not to stand in dog poo on the floor whilst he takes a shower in the sink, I mean, it's weird. It's like seeing a Hollywood superstar like Leonardo DiCaprio being forced to sleep at a bus stop. But yeah, Dyche will set out his Burnley team to grind out a 0-0 draw. But no, don't get me wrong, this will be an utter wet pudding of a football match. I mean, you're better off doing something else with your evening, even just chewing on a cement brick, because yeah, this will be grisly to watch. Burnley in the rain. I'll also go for a 1-0 win for Man United. Marcus Rashford nicking it in the last minute. Just you watch. Man City versus Brentford. Oh, well, this is just inevitable. Brentford are on another one of their patented wretched runs of form, which just seems to go unnoticed. They are in free fall for the second time this season. They've lost 5 league games in a row. I mean, that impressive win over Aston Villa just seems to disguise the fact that they've lost 7 of the last 8 games against Premier League opposition. You know what? I'm going to call it. I think Brentford are going to wind up in the relegation zone before the season is out. I'm not saying they'll definitely go down, but trust me, by the start of April, Thomas Frank will be sitting in 18th, and yeah, feel his knees begin to shake. And I, like everyone else, initially got carried away by the Christian Eriksen signing. Don't get me wrong, Eriksen at Brentford is incredible, but then I remembered, oh yeah, he hasn't played a minute of football since June. This man has completed 90 minutes of football just once inside the last year. Clearly he's going to have the match fitness of a constipated snail. We won't see the best of him until what? Mid-April at the earliest? This is so inevitable. Brentford are getting crushed. I'll go for a 6-0 Man City win with, yeah, even Jack Grealish scoring a goal. Norwich versus Crystal Palace. Don't underestimate just how huge a match this is. Lads, earlier in the season, Norwich City looked like a big bag of horse mucus threatening to become the worst Premier League team of all time, while Crystal Palace were flying high. After that win at the Etihad, I actually tipped Patrick Vieira to be the next Man City manager. Well, if Norwich win this game, recording their 4th win in a row, then suddenly they're just 5 points behind Palace. Lads, Norwich lost their first 6 league games of the season, and yet they're still out of the relegation zone under Dean Smith, who is trying to pull off a miracle job. Listen, Palace are a dangerous team on the break, and the likes of Michael Olise looks like the English Ronaldinho, but roared on by a hostile Carrow Road. I can just see Norwich nicking this 2-1 win with Josh Sargent. Again, yes, someone looks like Ronald Weasley's cousin from Chicago. He's gonna nick in a late winner. Just you watch. Tottenham versus Southampton. Again, simple one this. Antonio Conte has actually somehow managed to take this stale Tottenham mess and turn them into a half-decent outfit, challenging for the Champions League. Honestly, I know, clearly this man is some mega motivator in the changing rooms, but is anyone ever inspired by his broken English interviews, where he constantly just bears the facial expression of someone who's just seeing their wife romance their brother on the kitchen table? Honestly, his post-match interviews are about as exciting as any episode of Murder, She Wrote, and yet somehow he's getting a tune out of this Tottenham squad. I mean, don't worry though, it's not going to last. I mean, will I remind you that Jose Mourinho had Spurs top of the league in November? I mean, he was beating Manchester City twice and scoring 6 at Old Trafford. People conveniently forget that. But for now, Spurs are in a good moment, so yeah, Harry Kane will smack in a couple of goals in a very easy 3-0 Spurs win. Aston Villa versus Leeds. Right, so here we've got Steven Gerrard versus Marcelo Bielsa. You know, a relative novice versus someone who's been studying tactics since 1978. You would think that would mean that Bielsa will tactically assassinate Stevie G, right? Turning him into wet Spanish omelette. You know what? Yes, I know Aston Villa are the clear favourites here, but Leeds, they're just unpredictable. When Bielsa ball clicks, which is about once a month these days, then the Leeds team are an utter joy to watch. I mean, look at when they spanked West Ham last month. I think this is going to be a one-man Rafinha superstar show. He is going to utterly shine on that Leeds flank. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Leeds win. And if you think I'm talking utter wet garbage, well, Leeds have scored 3 on the last 2 visits to Villa Park. So what are you talking about? Trust me, I can almost see this in my mind's eye. 3-1 Leeds win. Just wait. I know this is true. And if I'm wrong, if Aston Villa win this match, then yeah, I'll eat a ham and cheese toastie dipped in milk. Liverpool versus Leicester. Brendan Rodgers is Jurgen Klopp's landlord, right? I mean, officially, I don't think he drags him out at 3 AM to fix his toilet. But after the trouble Leicester have caused Liverpool inside the last year, I'm guessing Klopp is so furious with the man, he's probably just chosen to smear poo in his kitchen walls. Anything. Right now, he's probably ripping up the carpet and stuffing it down the sink. I mean, honestly, he must secretly feel like pushing Rodgers in front of an oncoming bus. Because it's almost a year to the day since Liverpool turned up at Leicester before watching Ozan Kabak display the composure of Winnie the Pooh on ice, losing 3-1 on a miserable afternoon. And then fast forward to December, Leicester choose to take a 3-1 lead at Anfield in the League Cup. A week later, Ademola Lookman is scoring the only goal at the King Power Stadium to severely dent the title hopes of Liverpool. Honestly, Leicester have caused Liverpool so much hassle in a year. All in all, right now, Liverpool fans probably hate Leicester City. But I think Brendan Rodgers is going to get a reaction out of the Leicester players because clearly he was furious after the Nottingham Forest car crash. I think he will contain Liverpool for an hour before Luis Diaz pops up to nick a 75th minute winner at Anfield. But yeah, Leicester, they'll do okay. This will be a spirited performance. Just watch. Wolves versus Arsenal. The last time Arsenal won the league, Wolverhampton Wanderers were bottom of the Premier League. They were the division's whipping boys. Well, there's now just 2 points separating them in the table in February. I'm sorry, this is like saying that in 17 years, Man City and Burnley are going to be neck and neck in the league table before Valentine's Day. I mean, you would think the sport had been severely broken. You know what, I'm going to go for a pretty stale 0-0 draw with Raul Jimenez morphing into Alvaro Morata, spooning a couple of gilt-edged chances wide, and the Gunners will leave with a point. Just you watch. Anyway, that's it for this episode. What do you think? Alright, let me know. What are your predictions? Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.